Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to a scene from the living world of darkness. This is Demon Venue, The Pit. Amelia has texted Bradley to see if he wants to hang out. She has a very flexible schedule. His schedule is probably a little wonky since he's a police officer. And it's about mid-evening, I guess. She just shoots him a text that says, "Hey, you want to have dinner?"
She'll get a reply pretty quickly. Sure, I'm off today. What time?
And she shoots him a time. It says my place. I'll order in.
Sounds good, is the reply she'll get.
And she will also want to know, do you like Thai food?
She'll get a reply, never tried it, but sure, I'll give it a try.
Fair enough. So when he gets there, there is a strong smell of Thai food. Though the getting into her apartment requires being buzzed in, and when he knocks on the door, he definitely hears someone come to the door, check the peephole thoroughly to make sure that they know who it is, and then he hears the sound of several locks being unlocked before he gets to come in.
He'll walk in. You know, if you want an easier way to check the door, I can teach you how to do that.
Teach me how to check the door?
Well, I mean, it's a bit complicated, but I'll explain later.
All right. That would be fantastic. So far, the peephole has been fine. Since he has to go to the bathroom, she sends him off to do that, and she finishes setting food on the table. It'll be just a moment.
Sorry, I'm back. Vet called to confirm my dog's appointment tomorrow. I apologize.
No worries. So she sent him to use the bathroom, said while she set up, and when he gets back out of the bathroom, there's food on the table, forks. She's in the kitchen holding a pitcher of water. Do you want something to drink?
Sure.
Water? Coffee? Lemonade?
Water's fine. I'll just kind of shrug. And he'll probably kind of see what he can do to help set up the table if it's not already set up completely.
Nah, it's pretty set up. There's not much. There's takeout containers, forks. She hands him a cup when he wanders into the kitchen to see what he can do. She pours herself a cup of coffee. He's got water and kind of gestures him back toward the table. How have you been?
I've been fine, I guess. Not. Oh, you know that person I was telling you about the other day? That was really weird people that were giving me the strange vibes at that bar.
Uh-huh.
I got a arrest warrant for one of them. I guess it was issued recently.
Wow. She kind of is staring at him to see whether that's something she needs to care about. Not quite sure what she should do with that information. But she's smiling. She's friendly.
He'll kind of just shrug, just a curiosity that came up today.
I think I should be careful?
Well, it did say armed and dangerous, but I mean, I don't exactly think it was made with us in mind, so you should be fine.
That's fair. That's a good point. Though, as we've found, a bullet is a bullet, I guess. If he's armed?
He's off today, so he wouldn't have his pistol out with him.
No, she means if the armed and dangerous person is armed.
Oh. As far as I know, they are. Haven't heard anything to confirm or deny that they are.
She shrugs. Well, I'll just keep staying away from the park then, or at least that part of Manhattan.
Probably a good idea.
So, speaking of warrants, she's settled now at the table, and she kind of scoots her fork around in the pad thai that she's got. I wonder how open you would be to the idea of sharing some information.
Oh, he kind of raises an eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of information?
I have a computer program that I use to keep track of news articles for things that are important to us. Signs of raveners, signs of activity that
He
might
nods.
require our attention. And unfortunately, the news often is the last one to know if something's happening. A lot of times when there's weird things happening, your employers are the ones who are going to know first.
He nods to your point. Would you like? Where are you trying to get at here? What do we need?
Would you be willing to let me install my program on a work computer?
I mean, if I can get access to one next time, if you give me the program, I can probably install it. I mean,
I can do that. I can make
I
it
don't know
install.
much about computers.
That's all right. I can. All you'll have to do is double-click an icon.
All right. Will it be, I guess, hidden? Is what I'm looking for.
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
Excellent. That'll be very useful. I don't suppose you've heard anything about these fellows at the docks, have you?
Not yet. It seems they're trying to keep it kind of quiet, but I mean, I already know there's not exactly honest and trustworthy. Not everybody at that station is completely honest and trustworthy.
That's fair. That's too bad, but sometimes that can be useful, I guess,
I suppose.
considering how far we've fallen. Sometimes we have to act in the cracks.
He'll nod. As much as it displeases me, and if you want, like a perception empathy, I guess, on that.
Oh, yeah. 2?
He seems to be like a bit confused if it's him or there's confusion there. Like, I don't know if 2 successes was quite enough to catch like the reason why, but there's definite confusion when he said that.
Okay. She will stop and put her fork in the the pad thai. I'm being confusing again, huh?
Not you, really. It's complicated.
Complicated? And she grins at him because she's definitely curious. And she doesn't really want to pry if he doesn't want to talk about it, but she's definitely curious.
My host finds it distasteful while I have no issue with it, and it's just an interesting feeling, I suppose I should say.
Yes, I completely understand. Sorry to initiate that sort of conflict.
He shrugs. It would have come sooner or later.
How are you dealing with that?
It's not unpleasant, but it's not what I'm used to.
I have to admit, I find it vastly unpleasant.
I find it more of a sort of penance, you could say.
Really?
He nods, takes a bite of the food.
She also takes a bite and she waits patiently to see if he'll elaborate on that without prodding.
It takes him a moment. I presume you know at least a bit about some of the things I did during the war. Granted, given by your or David and yours reactions when you met me.
Yes, a little.
I'll admit I don't have much memories of it, but I know the basics. And it seems to me that having the, I suppose he seems to be struggling for words for a moment. Having to learn how to empathize with humans is, in a way, sort of penance. It seems that, or simply fate has a twisted sense of humor.
Fair enough. Can I ask about your body?
He just nods.
Before you, well, you chased the soul out. No?
The soul was already on its way out.
How so?
This body, the human in it, was on a sting, I believe is what it's called. And he'd been found out. They shot him, left him for dead.
Oh, I see.
His, I remember coming out of the abyss and feeling his rage, his anger at the betrayal. And I'll admit, coming straight out of the abyss, it resonated with me. And well, I eased his suffering.
I understand. Interesting. Perhaps it is a penance for you then. Do you feel that you're learning grace?
Relearning, I suppose would be the better word, but yes.
Huh? I see. I would be interested if you're willing to talk about it. When you learn things, I would be interested to hear about what you learn.
He'll nod. It's not exactly the most private, but it's not. He just kind of trails off, just kind of not really like angrily, just kind of tired, almost is what it comes across as.
She gives him a small smile. There's sympathy in it. She definitely gets being tired. Maybe it'll be good to have someone to talk to about it, and maybe it'll just satisfy my curiosity.
He nods.
So what did you
It's
mean
not.
about the door?
I. You know of the duty of the first house,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of our gifts of one of our lores that we learn, that we were gifted with, allows us to see the faith in others. Now, I'll admit it's not as useful for finding out if there are mortal intruders in your domicile or similar, but it is a useful tool to allow us to find others of the fallen.
Interesting. And you would teach me that so I can guard my door better?
I would teach you, yes, for the right knowledge.
She reaches over and sets her fingers on the back of his hand, just lightly, for a second. I'll be very honest, it isn't the Fallen I'm worried will turn up at my door. It's still the Italians. I
Oh,
think that your knowledge may be a little bit of overkill.
he just kind of shrugs.
Did Officer Brennan tell you what my problem is?
No, I haven't spoken much with him, I'll admit. Most of the time when I go in there, he's actually unconscious.
Though I'll be honest, Officer Brennan doesn't know much about what my problem is, I don't think. And it would probably be better if he didn't know much more than he knows. Considering that these are things beyond him. She's watching his face very intently because she would not be surprised if he has strong feelings about what she's saying, considering that Officer Brennan got very injured in the line of duty defending her.
He's not showing any emotion yet.
Okay. Should I roll for it?
You can. Subterfuge is a talent, right?
Yes.
Damn. Yeah, you get it. In fact, he's not hiding it very well at all. He's
Yeah, that's a double botch. So
yeah.
it's all over his face.
It seems it's the confusion again.
Mm-hmm.
You see that very clearly. Since I botched, it's obviously the angel has no issue with it, but
Sure.
the mortal body does.
You should tell him what he needs to know to defend himself, but I don't think it's smart to involve him too deeply.
I wasn't planning on it, honestly.
Good. So, for your knowledge only, and not his, apparently I've irritated someone in the mob? And she looks, when she says it, she looks like this is territory far, far outside her purview. Like this is, she really doesn't understand how she got mixed in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not trying to hide it. Her expression is obvious. And they want me dead. The first person they sent to kill me became a host to one of us. And he's now really on my side.
May I ask who it was? If I've met them before?
I don't believe you've met him, but if there's a case file, his name will be in there. Officer Brennan asked me about him. His host's name is, I have to look it up. Make sure I'm getting it right. Zane Mathis. I think that perhaps he's also doing some penance. So he's not trying to kill me anymore, but I believe that his former employers are doing their damnedest.
They come for you again. You have my name if you need assistance.
Thank you. I may. So far I've been able to, well, so far I've been very lucky, actually. But, well, you know me. I've never been much of a warrior.
Even the weakest of us is still an Elohim at heart.
Truly. But I'm also housed in this flesh, which is weaker than my heart. And it would be extremely inconvenient to lose it.
Agreed. You said, which house did you say you hailed from again?
The fourth house, the Nibiru. Oop, nope, just kidding, the Nedu. Not the Nibiru.
That's your visage out of character.
No, it is Nibiru. I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
Yep, I was right the first time. Yeah, I got something right, and then I got it wrong.
He kind of nods. All right. Have you attempted to find out why they are trying to kill you? Perhaps there's a way to just to persuade them not to continue down this path.
So far, all the ones I've met are quite dead. Like I said, I've been lucky. But I would very much like to try.
I'll see if I can find out where, if we know where the
Where the what?
the Italian mob you said it was that was after you?
Mm-hmm. She kind of studies him for a minute. Just kind of curiously. I really appreciate your help.
Days like these, there's too much infighting between us, between our people. If we're going to survive in a creation that is so changed, we can't afford to have petty rivalries.
Yes, I completely agree.
And I'm going to roll perception empathy on that.
Sure.
I doubt I'll get anything. In fact, I'll spend a willpower point.
Okay.
2 successes.
She's not trying to hide it, so she completely agrees. That's been a major goal of hers, is to meet those people that she can and understand them and bring them together.
Okay.
There's almost an innocence to it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just kind of file that away.
Likewise, if I can help. Well, I'm good for information.
I don't think there's anything pressing that I've been searching for, but I've been trying to find others of our kind, see what needs to be done.
She nods. Have you met our tyrant?
He shakes his head.
Would you like to?
If there is an opportunity, yes.
I have her card if you want it. Hang on just a sec. And she gets up and goes to the other room. And he'll get a text a minute later with just a photo of a business card. And it's got the information for Emma. I don't know what her last name is, but it's, excuse me, sorry. It's Lolth. So there's, yeah, she won't say that name, but he'll get the business card. And when she comes back in, she will scribble on the napkin just the name Lolth. Do I know the name Lolth? I don't know if I know the name Lolth. Never mind. You don't have the name Lolth. Because I
Out
don't
of
think I have it.
character, LOLTH.
Uh-huh. But
Oh, I know what that is. From out of character.
I don't think that I have that name, so I don't think she can actually give that to you. I don't remember.
Okay.
No, actually I do, because they mentioned something about spiders, so yes.
Okay.
And if that comes up later and I was totally wrong, I apologize.
It's fine.
You can just retcon it then.
No. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying he'll put the card away and kind of just go back to eating.
I don't know that much about her, but apparently she's extremely effective.
Nods. I would not expect a tyrant to be anything but.
Fair enough. I don't really know her well enough to offer introductions, but I'd be happy to, if you like, let her know that, well, that you exist and are interested in meeting her.
Nods. That would be quite hopeful.
Okay, I can do that. So do you have family, your host?
Give me 1 second. Because
Yeah.
that character I forgot. A sister, but I haven't seen her since I've entered this form.
She nods.
The host had a hard eye. He kind of frowns.
She doesn't laugh.
Bradley had very, very interesting family, I suppose.
How
The
so?
word. Evidently, his older brother killed their mother.
Oh, that's that's tragic.
And he nods, yes, and it quite.
I imagine that was fairly formative for him.
It appears to have been, yes.
Are they in New York then? Or is he just kind of gestures kind of vaguely with a hand?
I
How
don't
about you?
actually know where the sister ended up,
Oh,
honestly.
well, at least you don't have to try to understand those relationships while you're still
He
trying to
nods.
understand everything else.
He nods, and quite true. And then he'll just go back to eating.
She kind of watches him idly. She's also eating. She's kind of picking at her food by now because she's pretty full. Um, demon small talk is weird.
Fun!
So, she just kind of sits and eats and screws around with her fork a little bit. How do you like the pad thai?
It's interesting. Very exotic, I suppose the word would be.
Well, it's a little sweet. I like the mix. Sweet and salty, and a little spicy. It's good.
Definitely not the usual of what this host is used to eating.
What's the usual?
Ramen and beer.
Ooh, that sounds terrible. At least for any
You know,
sort of long-term consumption.
yes, the host's body was in not horrible shape, but it wasn't the best when I entered it.
Declining.
He nods.
Well, I suppose it was in terrible shape when you entered it. Sounds like.
Yes, it was for the time. Still need to find the one that evidently betrayed this host. It could be a useful resource.
How so?
Uh, from what I understand, what he was told before they killed him, or tried to, is that they were in some position of relative power, where they would have known of the fairly secret mission he was on. And thralling them, I'm sure, would provide a great deal of assistance.
Oh, I see. That's that sounds like a dangerous bargain to make. If they're dangerous people. You're not worried?
I've fought the hosts of heaven before. There's only so much terror a mortal can bring.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I'm trying to learn caution. Forgive me if I seem a little overcautious.
It's a fine thing to have.
She kind of raises an eyebrow at him, because that's kind of incongruent with his I've fought the hosts of heaven. I'm going to roll for that.
Let me actually roll to notice that.
Okay. So I have one success to tell whether he was like mocking her when he said it's a fine thing to have, or whether he was just kind of absently just being agreeable.
He agrees. Like he actually agrees with you.
Okay.
I mean, he notices it. He kind of catches the look. And yes, caution is a good virtue to have, and it's bravery without caution is suicide.
Which is something that we really can't afford, knowing
Which
exactly what happens.
Indeed. Although, if I must admit, there are ways to mitigate it that they do set back our progress.
Progress. Ways to mitigate the abyss?
Ways to attempt to not be returned if our hosts die.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll continue hoping neither of us needs that anytime soon.
He nods, as do I.
How much do you remember of before?
Almost nothing.
Does it gnaw at you? Not remembering?
Sometimes. But in a way, it's almost relief in a way. Not having memories, being able to almost start anew.
To start anew, that hadn't occurred to me, even. To start anew.
This is our chance, isn't it? The host didn't descend upon us when we escaped. It almost seems like it's us. Maybe there's a reason they didn't come after us.
Huh. A reason for the silence, you mean?
He nods.
That's a very interesting thought. A reason for the silence. How strange. What is it you hope to do with your second chance?
Right past wrongs.
But your wrongs are so far back and you barely remember them. How will you right them?
I have to remember first and prevent others from making the same mistakes.
I see. Naturally. Well, if I can help, let me know.
He'll incline his head. Thank you.
Unfortunately, we have a number of allies here. It's a valuable place to have landed, I think.
He nods. There are definitely worse places, I'm sure.
I can't tell whether that's optimism or pessimism. This might be the worst of them.
I am typing something.
Okay. She plays with her food while you're typing.
Yeah. He'll just take another bite. He seems kind of quiet, almost.
You all right?
Just considering options, trying to plan ahead.
Well, you're always welcome to consider out loud here.
He nods.
She kind of hops to her feet and scoops up the food. Closes the container. I'm sure I'm not going to eat more, and if I keep playing with it, it's probably not good for either of us.
He'll chuckle. He'll kind of just quickly finish what he has left and stand up and help her start taking care of the table.
There's no rush. Eat until you're full. These always make at least 2 meals for me. I'm just going to put it in the fridge and get some more coffee.
He nods. And kind of... I'll slow down a bit, but he's still like helping put everything up.
Kind of eating between... I mean, there's not much to clean up, so if he just like makes sure that he hasn't got noodles all over the table, he's probably pretty good.
Yeah. And how much? When she comes back, he goes, "So how much? How much do you remember?"
Bits and pieces. Only bits and pieces. Sometimes wide swaths of things, and then they end abruptly.
He nods.
I remember you a little.
Oh. Raises an eyebrow.
I remember you were brave. You led armies. And there were many deaths. Human deaths.
He slowly nods. That sounds like all I remember. Sounds similar to what I remember. All I can remember is, other than the abyss, is death and cold and anger.
Yes, that sounds right.
He nods.
And fear and all the questions gnawing.
And worry.
Yeah, I guess worry. I guess worry is a thing too. I barely remember the worry. There was so much else. And so little else.
He nods like he understands.
Anyway,
It's not.
We've escaped now, and like you said, maybe this is a second chance. Or at least, something very, very different.
I do hope it is. I do.
Do you fear?
For
Yourself. Your future.
in some ways, I fear that I'm wrong, and that one day we'll wake up and we'll be back in the abyss, and everything that we've tried to do, every good we tried to bring, everything we tried to do to help them is just taken away. And then we just, in the end, didn't matter.
Huh. That's bleak. Didn't matter. Yes, that seems like a reasonable thing to fear.
He's nodding kind of contemplatively along now. Thinking now, you can obviously tell.
And your hopes? What's the other side of that coin?
I hope that we can finish what we started so long ago. We can make the humans as great as we'd hoped they would be.
You should try meeting with the ones who have come forward, the ones who are finding powers in their hands. I think they might be our hope.
He kind of tilts his head. Who do you speak of?
The wizards, the witches. I don't know what to call them. I'm sure they have names for themselves, but
He nods.
they're a
Perhaps,
scattered bunch, not very well organized.
perhaps they are our last hope.
Surely not our last hope. Perhaps our best hope, though. No?
He nods.
She just kind of shrugs. So, she stops in the kitchen and she's kind of fiddling with the coffee pot. Just kind of absently, not really thinking about it while she pours herself another cup. Do you want some ice cream?
I suppose I've never tried it before, but it's suppose there's no time like the present to start, to try new things.
Yeah, and Haagen-Dazs is definitely worth it. She pulls out one of those little like single serving size ice creams. She's got a freezer full of them
Mm-hmm.
and brings it over to offer it to him.
He'll take it and he'll open it. And he seems very curious, but slightly apprehensive.
She smirks at him because it's a funny thing to not remember ice cream. But she doesn't. She lets him have the moment to himself while he tries it. She turns away and lets him remember by himself.
I'll just take a bite. Very slowly, just start munching quietly.
She watches and doesn't watch. Nope, she doesn't watch. She listens a little bit as she kind of moves out of the way to let him enjoy his ice cream. She has some ice cream of her own. And she wanders into the other room.
Okay.
When she comes back. She's got her laptop and she settles down at the table again.
Okay. Okay, so after he finishes his ice cream, he'll thank her and take up his coat and everything, and quietly kind of get ready to leave. As he's at the door, he'll turn around and say, "Thank you for having me over.
My pleasure.
And if you need any assistance, like I said, you have my name."
Thank you. It's good to have company that understands, you know?
I agree. And he'll bid her goodbye and head out.
And I think there we can end our scene.
Okie dokie. Do you want to give the outro?
Yeah. In his wake, which is, his trip through her apartment, finds it not necessarily shabby, but kind of that tired old. The cleanliness is there, but it's old. She just closes the door, and he hears the sound of a whole bunch of locks being thrown. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good night.